Good afternoon. If you are just joining us, we will give the technology a couple of minutes to catch up to us, and we'll be starting shortly. Or we're giving folks a minute to wrap up their last Zoom meeting and jump into this Zoom meeting and take a breath, maybe even have lunch, depending on what time zone they're in. Hey, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Welcome today to the UPCEA UPlift Mentorship Experience webinar. We're thrilled that you're with us today. Most importantly, we're really happy that you've taken time for you to be here. We have a team of folks willing to share some experiences and advice about getting engaged in the program, and some of our partners are here as well. And so we're really thrilled. And, we spend all day long talking with other people about how they can improve their worlds. And so hopefully today is a little bit of time for you to be able to think about your world and your skills that you either bring to share or learn more about. We have a few notes. We are recording this session today too. You should have noted that on your way in. That's not just for us to review and remind ourselves what the plan is moving forward, but it's also for those who couldn't be with us today. So they'll be able to learn more about the program as well. I'm Melissa Perino, and I have a new role with UPCEA, and it is supporting volunteer leaders just like those of you that are here today, and helping people get more engaged with the association. I am thrilled to be able to be a very small part of helping this program be live today. And we've got some other folks that are here to share. So are we ready to go ahead and share our slides? Let's start there. Thank you very much. So as I mentioned, welcome today. We are glad that you're here with us. And one of our advisory board members is here, and she's going to go ahead and introduce some of the other players that you'll see today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for our UPlift kickoff, or like orientation experience that we're having here. The mentorship whole thing that we've done has been a combination between us at UPCEA team, along with a mentoring advisory board that I'm part of. My name is Kristen Hernchuk. I work at Western Michigan University. I've been a part of UPCEA for about 6 years now on several different levels, and being part of the mentoring advisory board has been very exciting and rewarding to bring this needed element to UPCEA. Dawn is also on this call. She is one of our advisory members, along with Laurel and Beth, who are not able to join us today. And then on the left side of the screen, you can see those completely important UPCEA members that have supported us through this whole process, got us up and running, and every year we're just growing and engaging more and more, which is great, because this is what we really want. We want to be able to pair UPCEA members with each other to really help each other, because that's how we learn. We want to network, we want to hang out with each other, we want to talk, and we really want to learn from each other. So thank you again so much for joining us. We hope that you all want to be part of this incredible program, either as a mentor or a mentee, or eventually if you'd like to get more involved with our advisory board, that is good as well. So thank you again. If you have any questions throughout any of this process, we say this a lot, but feel free to reach out to any of us on the advisory board. We are all here to help and answer questions and walk you through the process. Dawn is on this call with even a mentor last year, so she's seen it from both sides. So thank you. And I'm going to turn this over to, I think, Kathleen, unless there she is, Kathleen.
Thanks so much, Kristen. This has been a project that we've all been particularly, it's like I'm muted. This has been a project that we've all been particularly passionate about. And we started talking about this 2 years ago. And so what we did is to do a proof of concept. We ran a pilot, and our pilot ran from February to about July, August of last year. We had 22 partners, mentor-mentee partners, And it was successful beyond our initial dreams. We were a little cautious. We were in a little bit of a bubble thinking that this would be great, but it just turned out to be phenomenal. We got so much positive feedback. Kind of the way the program was structured, and you'll hear a little bit more about that today, is the mentors and the mentees met once a month. We had a professional development opportunity for them. We had an opening event and a closing event where they got to network with each other. And we also set up a place that they could collaborate within CORE, which is our community platform. And again, we shared resources there. Individuals were able to talk to each other. And what people said about the program, the benefits were that it was flexible. They so very much enjoyed the one-on-one experience and the tension that they had. They felt that they built meaningful relationships. I think where we could have been more effective is in the matching. A lot of the process that we did was manual. So we did our best. And also some of the resources and training, they said, could be even more effective. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about those improvements and about what we're doing with Mentor Collective to kind of address some of the challenges. So with that being said, I'll stop and turn it over.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. And yeah, this is just a high-level overview of what we'll be talking about today is really the process. But I really want to encourage you, if you have questions, I see some chat activity already where folks are dropping in. Connect with me on LinkedIn. That's fantastic. This is about connecting. If you have specific questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A option as well, and we will get to those. That's what this is about today, is your questions being able to be answered. So we will do our best at trying to help that. Let me give you a sort of overview of how we'll be working with Mentor Collective this year on this particular part of the program. So if you haven't already, there's an interest form that you can fill out at upcea.edu/uplift. And once you fill out that information form, you'll get an invitation to register on Mentor Collective's platform. And to sign up as you'll get your invitation as either a mentor or a mentee. So once you do your registration, and then you'll do an onboarding part, our mentors will get training. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And you'll do some surveys. Actually, you'll do a survey that will help you identify ways that you'll be connected or sort of key factors that will help identify the best match for you. Then there'll be a match made, and you'll be introduced to your mentor or mentee. And then the mentorship process happens as well. And while we're going to talk a little bit about differences between the role of a mentor and a mentee, and yes, you'll have to pick one role over the other that you would like to be throughout this program, it's really going to be, I'm certain, a reciprocal experience, right? You'll both be learning from each other. You'll both be sharing with each other and perhaps even questioning each other. So it'll be an interesting process, I am certain. So I'd like to have our team from Mentor Collective share a little bit more about their organization. Perhaps some of you know them. They may already be working on your campus as well. So Tiffany, are you ready to join us? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Kathleen and team. Hi, everyone. Tiffany Wiggins here. So glad to be here with you all. I serve as a Senior Program Success Manager at Mentor Collective. I've been with the organization about 2 years now, but come from a very similar background that most of you all are currently in. I worked in higher education administration, primarily in student affairs, for about 13 years. So I've kind of transitioned over to working with Mentor Collective, which is an awesome mission-driven organization that works with colleges and universities to help bring mentorship at scale to campuses and to organizations. So I'm going to be working really closely with Melissa and Kathleen and the advisory board to come together and make this second year of the UPlift program hopefully even better than what happened last year. The success, that Kathleen talked about is already going to be hard to beat, but really looking forward to our partnering together to make this an awesome experience for up to 100 matches. So last year we had 22. going into this year, there's opportunity for 100 matches to happen. So we're really looking forward to working together to make that come true. And I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Laura, who's going to introduce herself, but also talk about a little bit more about what we do at Mentor Collective.
Hi, everyone. It is so lovely to meet you all. I would be lying if I said I was not distracted by all of the amazing universities that are saying hello in the chat. So I do apologize, but hello, I am Laura. I am, as Tiffany said, I am part of the Mentor Collective team. She did a really wonderful job explaining what we do. I love to explain Mentor Collective in this way, that we all know that mentorship works. And what we also know about mentorship is it's incredibly difficult to scale. It is why Mentor Collective exists. And these types of challenges that you saw when you were initially setting up these mentorship programs, they are the same challenges that all organizations see, right? So our purpose is to come in here and to make this scalable for your people. I fell in love with Mentor Collective and I fell in love with this mission. I have been selling into higher ed for the better half of 10 years. And what I found were how many inequities there were that were so visible, right, for each of the campuses that I went to, right? And I would see how interesting it was that some students would be aspiring to be a doctor and maybe they had a parent who was a doctor, where on the other side, you knew somebody that was aspiring to be a doctor, but they actually had no connections in the space at all. So I found Mentor Collective because I was kind of searching for it, and I am so thankful it exists, and I am really thankful to see everyone sitting in this room. So as I said, our goal, we're excited to bring personalized high impact mentorship to this group of people, right? We have created over 700 mentorship programs over our course of existence, and we continue to do so at, like I said, really high scale. We are truthfully a collective. It is an incredible way to describe what we do. It is a group of brilliant minds and caring people who have come together to truthfully bring out the best in people through mentorship. I think about how every person benefits from mentorship, whether you are the mentor or the mentee. There's a lot of circumstances where you are both. And I think it's incredible. So I'm really excited again to be able to scale this, and this to become something that is impactful for you all. So when we think about the benefits of joining the UPlift program, am I jumping into this one, guys?
Okay, Donna was going to do it. Donnie, there we go. Thank you. It's good. Everybody knows the benefits.
Hey everyone, so thankful you're here. So I just want to talk a little bit about the benefits of mentees and then the benefits of mentors, which probably you all can relate to and have had these experiences. But in addition to what you see here on the slide, so with mentees, you're expanding your professional network. And what's really nice about that is you may be actually joined with or partnered with one person, but from that one person, you end up with a huge network of other people, right? So you think about if you have a specific focus, maybe you want to focus on leadership skills, you can build your leadership skills. And the person that you're working with has a very specific leadership style that you think, well, maybe I can take bits and pieces of that leadership style and really learn more about it and use it at my organization. But I really would like to focus on these other leadership styles as well. And what's really nice about that is the mentor can actually connect you to other people within their organization, within UPCEA, or other colleagues outside of their institution, to ensure that you have a well-rounded, holistic view of leadership skills. And so that's what's really nice about becoming a mentee, is it's very open to anything and everything that you might want to really work on and think about for future, your goals, your thoughts, where you want to be in next year, right, or 5 years. And I know we don't talk about that a lot because the pandemic sort of like drew us back from that, but I do think that even those little personal goals within 6 months is something that mentors can help mentees with. So you get to hear those different experiences. I was a mentor last year, and I had an opportunity to partner with someone who had a very different job description than what I had. And so I'm in student services in terms of on the academic side, advising student disability services, and administrative duties. And this person was more along the lines of faculty training, faculty mentorship, faculty or learning design, that sort of thing. And so as a mentor, and this is what's so nice about the mentorship, is that I was able to learn that side. So I was able to gain skills and knowledge and information from my mentee. And so that's what's really nice about connecting mentors and mentees. I got to hear her perspectives, very different institution from the institution that I work at. And so that was something that I was able to use later, thinking about, well, how do we want to change in my office? What do we want to do? And thinking about what's happening at this other institution and learning from her. So even though you may decide you want to be a mentor and share your years of experience, which I think is great, what's nice about it is you're also learning. You're also building your professional network as a mentor. You get to share your knowledge. You get to share your leadership style. But you also might be able to go out and do some research on different leadership skills and styles that you need to share with your mentee, as I mentioned the example previously, where they might have a very specific idea of what they want to do in terms of leadership, building authentic relationships, and really having a sense of community and belonging. And I think that we all have experienced that just in this brief short of time right now. Thank you so much for those who have connected with me on LinkedIn already. I think that's great. I don't know who started that in our chat area, but thank you so much for doing that, because I think it's really helpful to build that sense of community, that sense of belonging, and continue to build our networks. And that's really what we're all about here with UPlift, with the mentees and mentors.
All right, thank you so much, Dawn. So I'm back on the mic here, and I want to just talk through the operations of kind of how this whole process will work. Melissa gave kind of a high level explanation of that here. And so this slide and the next couple of slides will kind of go through those components of making mentorships happen over the next several months. So this just gives you kind of a overview of what the process will look like. So while we partner with organizations such as UPCEA, we're able to kind of help elevate or come to work together and work a little bit, I guess, more efficiently in terms of kind of making sure that all the components of a mentorship program happen. If any of you all know, like putting a mentorship program together, there's so many different aspects of it. So being able to partner together to make that happen just allows it to be a little bit more seamless for everyone involved. So in partnership with Mentor Collective, with the UPlift program, we'll be able to help to recruit members, so to be either mentors or mentees. So we will assist with that using various forms of communication. We provide training to the mentor specifically to make sure that they feel prepared and understand their role as a mentor. Of course, everyone has may have a heart for mentorship, but actually, the practice of actually doing it sometimes may need a little bit more support or resources around that. So we're able to provide training to say, what does that look like for the UPlift program? There will be a survey that both mentors and mentees will get to give us a better understanding of what it is that they're looking for. So we're always going to kind of go with what the mentee is looking for, kind of keep that in mind with the matching process. And we'll go through that a little bit more in depth in just a second, but there will be a survey that will be distributed. And from the responses of those surveys, we will use that to make those matches happen. So Kathleen mentioned a little bit earlier that, there could have been some additional help with the matching, or maybe there was opportunity there. So we use, technology, there's an algorithm as well as human oversight to make those matches happen, because we want to make sure that we make the best relevant match possible. And we're looking at not just, maybe what your job title is or where your campus may be geographically, but we're looking at kind of who you are holistically. So what are some, there may be some questions around lifestyle or interests, hobbies, in addition to professional goals and development. So we'll do that as well. We'll engage with the pairs as they go through the process, guide them. There will be resources on the platform, which we'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment. that will also be available to you all and help guide you through the mentorship program, and do check-ins ever so often just to make sure that, things are going well. If you, like I said, if anything comes up and you need additional support, you have both the Mentor Collective team as well as the UPCEA team there to support you all along the way. So again here, making a relevant match. So that's really at the core of a meaningful mentoring relationship. So what you see here on the screen, this visual is an example of what that matching survey will look like. It is the one that we put together for the UPlift program. It's customized. So there's a few folks on the panel today who came together and really made sure that the questions were relevant to the members of UPCEA and to where you all are in your professions, to make sure that as we are developing and designing this program, that is going to, again, make relevant matches and be the most relevant for what you're looking for and the goals that you're setting out for as being a part of this program. And again, there will also be mentor training. So we used to have live trainings, but of course we know that in the world of work, that's not always the most accessible or practical for everyone to be able to make that happen. So there will be an on-demand training available to those who sign up to be mentors. You'll go through a series of modules. There will be some checks for understanding. And then once you complete that training, then we know that you have all the tools that you need to be a successful mentor in the program. And you'll see here on the screen just some of the areas in which our training covers. So what does it mean to be the role of a mentor, the expectations of this particular program, some of the logistics. I keep mentioning a platform, which we'll talk about in a second, but that'll be another kind of place to go to, kind of your hub of all information as it pertains to the UPlift program. Self-efficacy, help-seeking behaviors, and then again, how to best leverage those resources that will be available to you throughout the program. We do utilize text-based engagement, so that is an option. Depending on kind of your lifestyle, your schedule, et cetera, it might just be a little bit easier to text with your counterpart there. So that is an optional feature. So if that is something that you prefer not to have, text messages come, you can unsubscribe and let us know. We'll communicate with you via email only, but you have the opportunity to be able to text with your mentor or your mentee through an anonymized line. So you don't have to share your cell phone number if you don't want to, but also not only will that be used or can that be used to communicate with your counterpart, but also some of those check-in messages from Mentor Collective may also come in through text message as well, so that you can kind of let us know if things are going well and to log conversations to let us know that you are meeting with your mentor or mentee on a regular basis. So here we go. So like I said, I mentioned the platform a few times. So there will be a platform. Once you register for the program, that will then kind of give you access to the mentor and mentee platform. So there you will be able to see information about your counterpart. You will have access to those resources that I mentioned. And those resources are allows you to give you like conversation starters, different discussion guides that will, kind of help you where you are in terms of your goals, your mentorship style, and or kind of how it means in terms of being a professional. There will also be some UPCEA specific resources there as well. And if those are there, we'll alert you to let you know that there's some UPCEA information there as well. So, but yes, you'll have this platform, you'll be able to log in, you'll be able to log conversations, and pretty much do everything that you need to do regarding the mentorship program.
Yeah, and as Tiffany mentioned, this dashboard we found on the staff side to be really helpful. Really helpful for you kind of as a one-stop shop to just look at, the conversations that you've been having, to get access to those resources, and to connect with your mentor or your mentee through the system and the platform.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Jordan. And it also will help guide your onboarding as well. So we mentioned that there's an onboarding process once you come on as a mentor or mentee. So through that platform, we'll also kind of walk you through that process as well for onboarding into the platform and the program. So here's just another example here about the dashboard. So kind of showing you visually what it looks a little bit different. We've done a few updates, but this kind of gives you an idea of how that information will be displayed to you. All right, and I think it's back to Melissa.
Thank you. And for the record, this is not you, it is me, and it is my screen that is making a bit of a camera issue. So, but let's talk a little bit about who, will serve as a mentor. I know when we ask on the interest form if you were interested in being a mentor or a mentee, because we need you to pick one. But I am shocked at the number of people that I speak with that I learn things from every day, and they think, oh no, I could never be a mentor. But you really can, you really truly can. And yes, it's a reciprocal process. I think Dawn did a great job earlier of speaking through a little bit more of the benefits for both. But you'll get, this is one of the things that I love most about working with Mentor Collective, is that they've got already a training, an on-demand available training for folks that want to be mentors, about how you can get in and really get the most of the experience. So yes, you too can serve as a mentor, I think, is the answer there. Tiffany, will you go to the next slide for us too? A little bit of this has already been covered. Yes, you're going to share your experiences. I think one of the most important parts of this too is the power of being able to sort of log your experiences and log your conversations with folks in that Mentor Collective platform as well. So oftentimes it might be just that conversation that is helping a mentee balance life and work, and helping them navigate their career. So as we think about mentees now, right? And what will a mentee do? And the same is true. So you all will get together. We say at least once a month. This is one of the beauties, I think, of this program, is that it is not so structured that you have to meet every other week. If the two of you decide that you'd like to meet monthly, your pair, your match, you may do that. If you decide once a month is all we can do right now, obviously we encourage regular and consistent meetings, but however that works for the two of you is really what will work for the two of you. And it's that advice that we've all heard and we've all learned, the more you put into the program, you'll get back double fold, right? So share your experiences as a mentee, but also be willing to give and to do the work that is needed to put into it as well, right? Not just, I'm waiting for my mentor to pour all of this information into me. So, come with those really specific topics in mind, or come with a specific challenge that you need some direct answers to. I loved Dawn's example. I have seen some people saying, I want someone, one of your survey questions is, I'd like someone in the same professional role as me. Sometimes you get more from someone who is working in a whole different part of the institution than you. So share those opportunities as a mentee as well. Let's see, our next slide. I think one of the important parts is really that, communicate at least once a month. I know in some of the trainings, you'll hear a little bit of folks saying, maybe two times a month, but no, at least once a month, we'd ask that you connect in one way, shape, or form. And you can connect again, you decide how you're going to do that. We say, you can connect in person, which isn't always easy, right? With this, we're designing it as a virtual. A little spoiler alert, we might be planning an event at the annual conference. If you are planning on coming there, that might be an in-person opportunity, not a requirement by any means, but if texting together is the best way for the two of you to connect, do that. If getting on the phone is the best way, do that. You're really in control. The two of you are figuring out what works best for you. We would ask that you log the conversations in the Mentor Collective platform. And, flags too, we'll talk a little bit more about flags as well, but you can use those in the platform as well. Oops.
Can I just add really quick, can I piggyback on, I just wanted to mention the piece about logging the conversations in the information. I just want people to know that that doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to find out all of the details of your conversation with your mentor or your mentee. That just means that we have a general sense that you're kind of saying, yes, we met, we talked about this general topic, and whether or not, you know, things are going well with that mentorship. So I just wanted to add that piece there as well. And Melissa, the piece about flags, I guess I didn't unskip it or unhide it. So
Sure, that's okay. Jean, we'll get right back to you in a second. We do want to touch base. We had a slide in there that we played around with, but it's really about there's a system, part of the system that's called flags. And as you know, Mentor Collective was designed first for peer-to-peer student on campus mentoring. Corporations, I think Strata is one of the companies, right? No, other corporations that you've worked with, Boeing, I know is one, right? Said we want this for our employees. Well, I think we're the first association that you'll be working with. And so the flags work really well when it's a contained campus or a contained organization, right? If you have a flag and it says, I need to, talk about my benefits, you can talk to HR about that. Or if someone is having an issue, HR can work through things. So we're really using flags as more of a, if people need more information about UPCEA or need help trying to navigate the resources of UPCEA, that's where they'll really be. So don't be alarmed. At first we were like, wait a minute, what are we flagging? And, this is not anything that's going to come back to your institution. It's not, I'm flagging someone for a behavioral issue. None of that applies in this particular case. So we just wanted to make sure that that was shared as well. Jean, I apologize for stealing time away from you, but we're going to have Jean talk a little bit more about the timeline and some of those next steps. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm actually glad you talked about tags because it's mentioned in here, and I'm like, or flags. I'm sorry, flags, and I'm thinking, am I going to have to explain that? So thank you, I appreciate it. So this is just kind of an at a glance time frame. I know that I would be interested in this if I were thinking about this program, and I know that you folks are as well. In fact, I saw one question go by already about asking about the interest form due date. So basically this, we're in January, we're at the information session. Not everybody will come to this session, so it is being recorded and will be available to those folks who couldn't make it. But we wanted to be able to, have this available so you can go back to it as well. So then, after this, if you haven't already done it and you want to move forward with the program, you would complete the interest form that we've talked about here, and that is due January 18th. So you've got about a week for that. Then the recruitment and onboarding that Tiffany talked about, great resources on the platform. That'll be taking place throughout the month of February. And then the fun begins and the program really kicks off in March. So March is when the matches happen. So the mentors and mentees will get matched. And that was talked about quite a bit, based on the needs of the mentee, particularly. So once that happens, you folks will get notified and connected. And then through the months of April, May, June, and July, and into August is when you will be connecting on a regular basis. And as Melissa mentioned, at least once a month. A lot of folks in the pilot program wanted to meet more than that, and that was great. And they really appreciated just kind of having the flexibility to do that. During this time, you'll be utilizing the platform for the resources and discussion guides and logging your conversations. This is going to be really helpful for you as you go forward in the program. The flags we've discussed here, if that's needed at all. And then at the end of the session, we will ask both mentors and mentees to complete the post-session surveys. And also the end of the program, the evaluations. All of that stuff helps us. The surveys will help each other figure out, what works and what doesn't work. And the evaluations at the end in August really help us as a staff and the Mentor Collective as well, see what works, what doesn't work, what we might want to work on or tweak or whatever. So that's really helpful to us. The program will conclude in August with another session similar to this, a Zoom session where you all can come on board and we can kind of talk about, everything that happened and how it went and kind of just conclude at that point.
All right, so I just wanted to go over really briefly the timeline. So if you're thinking about being a mentee, you know what's in front of you. So once you complete that interest form, you let us know that you want to be a mentee. You'll receive an email after the 18th because the interest form is due on the 18th. So then soon thereafter, you'll receive an email inviting you to register for the program. You'll get a mentee specific registration link, and that is where it'll take you through the process. So once you register, you will complete the matching survey and the onboarding that's on the platform. Starting March 1, you'll be matched with your mentor, and then you'll continue to connect monthly throughout the remainder of the program, which will conclude in August. And then we just say here, like, if you like your experience at the end of it, we really hope that you maybe sign up for a mentor next time, and encourage others to apply. And then for those who are considering being a mentor, the process is very similar. Biggest difference here, again, complete the interest form by next week. Let us know you want to be a mentor. And then again, you'll get a mentor specific registration link in that email invitation. Register, you'll complete your matching survey, which will look slightly different than that for the for the mentees. Complete your onboarding tasks in the platform, and then you complete that on-demand training. And then March 1st is when you'll get matched with your mentee, and then again, start connecting with your mentee, throughout the remainder of the program. And of course, if you enjoy your experience at the end of it, you can either sign up to be a mentor again or sign up to be a mentee. We all can serve to learn from others. So just because you're a mentor this time doesn't mean you can't be a mentee next time. But that's essentially what the timeline and the process will look like for both mentors and mentees. And back to you, Melissa.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are leaving some time for specific questions and answers, but we also want to make sure, I love some of the questions we've already gotten in there is, if I want that interest form, you all keep speaking of, can I get a link to it? I saw that Jordan dropped a link right in the chat, and again, just did another one again. If for some reason you lose it, you cannot find that, you may go to upcea.edu/uplift. That interest form is right on there. Please get that done by next week, Wednesday. And what we'll be doing is looking for who said they indicated they'd like to be a mentor and who said they indicated they'd like to be a mentee. We will then go ahead and send you an email with the links that Tiffany was just speaking of that will say, here's a recording, but also here is how you sign up, and you go through that entire process with the registration link. Those onboarding tasks, Jordan and I went through those, really pain-free, right? I don't want to say simple because, they really make you think about some really good questions, right? What am I bringing and what am I hoping to get and what am I looking for in a match here? But so fill those out, and Tiffany and friends will remind you if all of those parts of the process are not done. But then that match will really begin. Our goal is to have that done for you so that the mentorship can really begin. And you can meet as frequently as you'd like. And of course, we say it's a 6-month program, but we're not taking back any of your connections by any means at the end of the 6 months. These are probably connections you'll have for life as well throughout your professional career. So I've tried to answer, originally I was going to try to answer some of the questions live, which we can also do, but I also tried to drop some of those answers, and so I had some help in there. Thank you. Answering them in writing so that if you need more. Kathleen, I'm going to turn it over to the woman who originally made the brainchild happen, right? And say thank you on behalf of all of the members, right, that are interested in it, and thank our advisory board, thanking Mentor Collective and the UPCEA team that brought it here today. But again, coming full circle right back to our attendees, and thanking you for being here today.
This has been great. It's so wonderful to have watched this come full circle. And Melissa, you taking this on with our partners, Mentor Collective, it's huge. So again, so thankful for all of this, and the interest that we've seen is totally phenomenal. Clearly, this is a program that's needed and wanted. So I look forward to seeing all of you in future mentoring meetings.
Melissa, I do see one question that just came up from Ryan. Can you send out the slides? Will you be sharing the slide deck?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Ryan, for asking it. And I think what we'll do instead of sending them as an attachment, since we'll have a couple of links in there, I don't know about your institutional firewalls. Sometimes they don't like a lot of attachments. So we'll put those somewhere for you, though, and we'll make sure that you have access to them, or shoot me an email individually if you actually want that particular attachment. But we will send out this as a link to a recording. I also see another question in here. Great question, Catherine. Do we anticipate having more than 100 people express interest? And if so, how will selection happen? At this point, and we have a pretty tight deadline for the interest form, while we hope that we would have more than 100 people, and so it's 100 matches that we have, right? Not just a 100 individual. So that's a really big difference. And sometimes we asked Tiffany, we pressed her on this, and she'll probably chuckle as I recall, right? We were like, wait, what does this number actually mean? But sometimes one mentor says, yes, I can mentor up to 3 people because I'm at a place in my career where I have that kind of time and capacity and want to give that back. So it's a tough number. How will they be selected? Honestly, it is also on a first come, first serve basis. And so, and we'll be doing this again. I know we'll have another cohort next year. And so we had a wait list from the pilot program. We went back to that wait list first before announcing this. And we said, I know you were on the wait list. Are you interested in participating? And folks either said yes, some said, nope, not at this time. I can't do it. So we would go back to that wait list as well. Great question. Thank you. And there's got to be some more. Yes, thank you, Jordan. Please feel free to reach out to me on email. Perhaps at the next Zoom conversation I have with you, I won't have to be in black and white or magenta, or said at one point I looked like a Dr. Seuss character. So I could have brought some humor to the conversation, but we'll figure that out. Or we could just do email. Yeah, the link to the form is in there. More information is on that upcea.edu/uplift. And we'll stick around. I'll be on this call until 4 o'clock, but if you all need to leave, you can, steal back a little bit of time. If you want to ask some more questions, we'll be around too. I see some more just popped in. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Fran. We appreciate your participation. I know it's pretty wild right about now, so we're really glad that you could be here. Those of you that are saying thanks, we look forward to seeing, if we haven't already, your interest form submissions within the next few days. It doesn't look as if we have more questions coming in. Might I suggest that we stop recording now, because no one's going to want to see us sitting